Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Gritty Hour. Today I have a very special guest, Dr. Abraham George, the author of a book called Mountains to Cross. And welcome to the Gritty Hour, Doc.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tom.
I'm told that you're mainly located in India, but you're here in the United States for a couple of months.
That's right. I'm not just in India, but in a remote village in India. And
Uh-huh.
I'm now in New Jersey. I'm here in December and January.
Very good. Just the two best months of the year. We have a big storm coming our way as we're recording. So
Right, right,
batten down the hatches, Doc.
right,
So
right.
so you're here to develop ways to enhance social change. I suppose in India and worldwide if you can.
Right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as I just mentioned that I, I I came to America um, in uh, in 1968 and
Uh-huh.
69. And I studied at New York University, Graduate School of Business, and did a couple of masters and a doctoral degree. And then I worked for JP Morgan for a couple of years, and then started my own company. That's my professional background, and I my field was international finance, and
Hmm.
so I served as a, a consultant for Credit Suisse, as well as I had my own company. I
Right.
had two jobs at the same time. And that went on for 25 years. But something happened before I came to America, and that was I was in the military as a young man, 4 years of training from 14 years of age, and became an officer at 18, served in the Himalayas, close to the Chinese border, where I was blown up in a dynamite accident.
Wow.
And I made up my mind there must be some reason why I was saved or escaped death, and I had also read a couple of books that had a big impact on me. I'll be happy to talk about it, but um, I made up my mind at that time that I will, at some point in my life, devote my life to social service to help the poor, and I didn't know exactly what that was. And during my graduate studies, I was formulating my plan and I was waiting to make some good money so that I can embark on what I am doing today.
Right. So what do you hope to do? Are you learning like methods here or to bring back to India? Just give me an idea of what you're hoping to develop.
Well, my goal is to help uh, people who are in absolute poverty in the rural area. That's one aspect of it.
Right.
But my greater passion is somehow uh, help or contribute to breaking uh, the the discrimination that people at the bottom of the society face. They are called the untouchables or Dalits today. India has a caste system for those who know about it, and there are people at the very bottom, not a small number, 300 million people,
Mm-hmm.
and they are treated very, very poorly. And I want to find a solution for it. And so I am involved in both poverty programs as well as um, effort to change society.
So when you say they're treated very poorly, is it by the upper levels of that caste system or is it
Yeah,
from, okay.
exactly, exactly. If you are in a village, for example, you can't live in a certain section of the village. You cannot even go to the well to take water. There are so many restrictions placed on them, and their job is mainly to serve the upper caste
Mm.
uh, and clean the latrines and things like that. And things have improved a little bit, but that was how they lived for almost 1500 years.
Right.
Um, Now, this is true in the cities also. Um, nobody would marry from a lower caste, the upper caste won't. There are, you know, they won't eat with them, they won't touch the plate they're eaten from. So it's very demeaning, the treatment. Now, one would argue that some of that is broken, but people's mental attitude towards them, that hasn't changed sufficiently.
Right.
And part of the problem is that uh, this community of people, they haven't had the opportunity to have a good education, so they are at the bottom. They haven't gone to good schools, so they don't fit in with the society well. And that's why I decided that education was the best way to change that.
Right. So, do you have like a concrete thing you want to implement, or you just I know it's centered around education, but is there a
Right.
specific you want to try and put into that?
Yes, I went to India. I started a school, a residential school called Shanti Bhavan, which is now 30 years. I've been there 30 years. And now the second school has started. Some 500 children have, studied or gone through it.
Uh-huh.
Another two, 300 are employed in major companies, multinational companies. Some 20 of them are in America, 10 of which, whom, 10 or 12 of them are in Ivy League. These things had never happened in the history of India. People
Right.
coming from one room hut, a family of four with no kitchen and bathroom. That's how they've been living, ending up in top universities in America. So this kind of thing happened because of the upbringing and the education they have had from the age of four. I take children at the age of four from the poorest to the poor and give them excellent education and proper upbringing. They live with me and now 30 years. And they're just as smart and good and socially, you know, able to move in any society. And that's what I do.
That's a great accomplishment, just that. Do you find that some of these students bring their uh, education, newly acquired status, so to speak, back to India to help?
Um, Somebody brings, I couldn't understand the question
No, what
clearly.
I meant was that you bring in a lot of them here. You mentioned Ivy League schools here in the United States,
Right, right. Would
and
they
now
take back?
do
Yeah.
they take it back to their
Yeah, yeah.
homeland?
You know, this has happened. Coming to Ivy League has happened only in the last 5 years. So
Okay,
most of them are still studying, and they all want to work a few years, gain some experience, and if possible, stay a little longer and make some money. And their main goal is to transform their families.
right,
Their parents and their siblings, they are all in bad shape. So they want to bring about that change. And only through money this will happen.
right,
And so they have that great desire to change their community. So I assume that they will work sometime in America and then they would return and change their communities.
right. Well, that sounds very promising. I congratulate you on your initial success with the program.
Thank you.
Which brings me to the book Mountains to Cross. Before we even start talking about it, do you mind if I share the page for the book on? Well, do you mind if I share the page for the book?
Sure, sure.
All right, hold on one second. Uh, I don't know if you can see that on your end there.
Right, I can.
Yeah,
This is the Amazon page,
this is
right?
the Amazon
Amazon,
page, yes, and
right.
so the book is relatively new, correct?
Yes, last week it was published in the United States.
Okay, so the ink is still wet then on the pages.
Yes,
Well, first of all, congratulations on the publication of the book.
yes.
And so, what is the book about? Number one, and number two, what prompted you to write it?
Well, The book is actually a memoir, my autobiography in some sense, because people ask me what prompted me to do these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back and the making of me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the events that happened, the my encounter with death, or possible death. All of that is covered, fighting the Chinese on the border, all of that is there. And then my career in Wall Street, that's covered. But then it moves on to what I did in India. Uh, I worked in this field of poverty alleviation and social discrimination, but I also did a number of other things like empowerment of women by cultivation, 200 acres of banana fields. I started a college for journalism, and then I was uh, instrumental for persuading the government to introduce unleaded gasoline, and I worked with World Bank, WHO, and people like that, to test blood of children and then convince the oil companies and the government that they should remove lead from gasoline, which happened in year 2000. So there are a lot of things happened. I was involved in many things, but my passion is the children,
Mm-hmm.
what I do with the children. So the story is about that. But in the end, towards the end of the book, I talk about everyone's duty to help others,
Mm-hmm.
service. We talk about it as charity. I talk about it as service. Uh, I describe uh, that if in the world there are some um, uh, half the population is, by any description, poor, below $5 a day of income, you
Right.
know. And I argue that if the top 10% would give 10% of their wealth or income uh, to helping these people, there will be no poverty in the world. But it doesn't happen. You can calculate what I am saying, what's the wealth of the top 10% in the world and what is their wealth and income. And then you'll find that that would take care of, more than $5 a day for these people. So I feel there is a need to cultivate among people, young and older, uh, the idea of compassion. But compassion is not just feeling bad about somebody, but you have to act on it. So I call it compassion in action or acting on compassion. And that is the main theme of the book. And I have many, many incidents. It's a full of stories of what happened. Each chapter has got five or six stories or events that have taken place in my life, and I reflect on them. So people can take away from the book how I have dealt with this subject,
Right.
how I have overcome difficulties, what it takes to bring about this transformation. And they can then adopt it to what they want to do. I'm not arguing that you got to do it my way. It's just that it gives you some ideas of what the hurdles are, how you can deal with the problems that you will encounter.
Well, it's good that you encompass, as you said, it's almost like an autobiography,
Right.
because it tells people as you proceed with this development plan, it tells people what educates your approach.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you had mentioned, I can't remember if it was before or after we started recording, that you served in the Indian military.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. At the age of 14, I joined the military academy, just like West Point,
Uh huh.
And for 4 years, they train you to become an officer. And I was then posted to the Himalayas by the Chinese border.
Hmm. And there's always friction there between the two
Yes, there
countries.
is.
Yeah.
There is. It's still going on.
Yeah. I was reading not too long ago about some river. I think it was a river that was dammed by the Chinese that the
That's
Indians,
right.
the Indian people, sort of kind of rely on the water that comes from that.
That's right. That river flows from the Himalayan mountains, the other side, and comes into India. And then finally it flows into Pakistan, and India wants to block that river going.
You want to move the dam further south, right? Yeah, well, there's no,
Crazy.
it is
Yeah,
nutty, yeah. So you were actually injured, I think you had mentioned while you were
right.
serving. Yeah.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's itself another story in the book, and that is, in the mountains, you have huge rocks. The mountain is all rocks, and I had to blast the hills to place the guns. I was an artillery officer, and I was sent up with some few hundred soldiers to do that.
Hmm.
For 10 months, I was blowing up things, but unfortunately, the fuse wire, you light the fuse fire, it burns, and then it lights a detonator, and then it blasts the dynamite.
Right,
Now, the fuse wire has to be long enough so after you light, you can run away and hide somewhere behind something else.
right.
But the military didn't have enough of it, so they didn't send enough. So I start cutting the length of the fuse wire, and finally ended up with instead of 12 inches, I ended up with 3 inches. And I, at that point, stopped the soldiers from doing it. I said, I will do it. And I started burning it. And it was okay for 2, 3 days. And the third day, I think I was a little careless. I didn't notice it. And at the last second, literally, I noticed, I turned around and jumped when the blast took place. And I was quite severely injured, and I was taken to the hospital. So that was an encounter with, death. And and made me think about why I survived.
Right. Well, you were spared for a reason, Doc.
I hope so.
Do you feel that way? It,
Yeah, I think so. You don't know
yeah.
how these
Do
things
you
happen.
think that incident was a propellant to bring you to the point you're at now in your life?
Yes, very much so.
Uh-huh.
I made a promise to myself.
Hmm. And you would help other people going forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You were actually, I think this was before we recorded. We were trying to get to know each other. You actually mentioned you were in the World Trade Center in one of your occupations.
Yeah, I was in the World Trade Center probably for 10 years with my office there on the 33rd floor.
Uh-huh.
And until the second blast took place, when it came down, and I was not in the building at that day, and my employees got out safely, so nobody
Hmm.
died among us. Um, and then we didn't go back anywhere to Wall Street. We kept ourselves in New Jersey, and we had office in California and London and
So
Brussels.
you had a fallback position to work out of.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so I told you I worked on Wall Street myself, so
right,
I
right.
probably nodded to you while I was out smoking a cigarette in front of the stock exchange one day, because we were in close proximity to one another. What years?
Right. I
What?
was on Pine Street for a while.
Yeah, that was just up the block from where I was at 14
Right,
Wall.
right.
So
Yes.
you where were those 10 years? Obviously 2001 was one of them, but
2001. That
not,
is when
no, what 10 years were you there? From what year to what
um,
year?
actually 1970
Oh, okay.
to 1978, maybe 8 years.
Oh, okay. Very
I
good.
wasn't there all the time. I was also going to NYU for some time.
Hmm.
The NYU Business School, Graduate Business School, was right next to the World Trade Center. I don't know, Nicholas Hall, very close by.
Yeah. And then you got
Chamber
it.
Street and all that.
Yeah, and then did you go right from college right into the financial world?
Yes, when I finished the bank discovered me and gave me a call, and I went and I got the job as in the international finance arena.
Uh-huh. Very good. And that exposed you to a lot of other countries and how they operate, I'm sure.
Right. That
Yeah.
was my field.
Yeah. And that affords you a good approach to what you're doing now with the social developments.
Right. All
Yeah.
these things really help you.
I'll ask you a question you don't have to answer. It could be personal, but what level in the caste system were you when you grew up? If you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
No, 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 no problem. Everything is transparent.
Yeah.
I was born into a Christian family, and Christians really don't fall into the caste system.
Okay.
Same way as the Muslims don't really fall into the caste system,
Is
or
it
the
exclusively Hindu,
Buddhists.
the caste system?
The Hindus fall into the caste system.
Right. Right.
And don't forget, almost 80% of the 1.45 billion people, 80% are Hindus.
Right. Of
So
course.
you are talking about, 1.2 billion people
Right.
are in the Hindu society, and out of which some 200 plus million uh, people are in the lowest caste, and then another 300, 400 million are one level above that.
Right. So but technically the caste system is no longer, right? But it's a mindset more than an actual system
Uh,
anymore.
yeah, when India got freedom from the British rule,
Uh-huh.
the constitution said that discrimination on the basis of caste is punishable. But there was a lot of debate, but they couldn't agree on abolishing caste. So caste system exists today. In
It
fact, the
does.
government asks what your caste is. So it's a
Interesting.
double a double talk. On one hand, they don't abolish it. On the other hand, he says you'll punish you.
So is there a name for each level in the caste system? Just educate me a little bit if you don't mind.
Um,
Like the lowest rung is called a certain thing and then
yeah,
okay.
the top is called Brahmins. The
Brahmins.
Brahmins, they are the people who conduct service, worship in the temple.
Okay.
Then there is something called Kshatriyas, who was olden days. They are the warriors. Then, then there is another one which is the businessman class, and then there is a fourth one which is the labor class. I forgot Shudra or something like that. The fourth one,
Uh-huh.
and then there is the very bottom is casteless society. They don't belong to any caste. At that time, they were called the untouchables.
I see. And that would be like the lowest level in that system?
Yeah, lowest level, but they were not even given a category.
Right. Is that where your primary focus is in your
Yes,
social development?
my work, 95% of the children come from that part of the society.
The untouchable level?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Is
I don't go around asking who is an untouchable. That's like I'm accepting that. So
mhm.
I just simply select children on the basis of their income, family income, and it so happens that over 90% of the people who come, they belong to that low caste.
Mm. So what would they do? These children, I suppose their parents would try to enroll them in something that you have physically over there, or do you bring them to the United States? Like
Oh,
exactly
no,
what?
no, 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 no. They go through from the age of four.
Uh-huh.
From the age of four, they are with me. I live with them.
Oh,
I have built two schools for them on fairly, well-established institutions. And there are some 500 children who have gone through it. They educated up to 12th grade, from preschool to 14 years with me.
uh-huh.
And then I educate them in college for another 3, 4 years. Then they get their job. So 18, 19 years of education that I provide.
Right.
And then they get the jobs. At that point, I don't provide any further support.
Now, what is the focus of the education? Is it primarily uh, how to raise yourself up in the society?
The they in India, the jobs depend on what degree you have.
Uh-huh.
So we and our school is enrolled in an accreditation program that is the top accreditation for a for we can get. It's called ISC, and so all our kids graduate from high school under that accreditation. Then I placed them in good colleges in India.
Mm-hmm.
They could be in physics, they could be in medicine, engineering, any number of things, or even law. And that they go through another 3 years. All through, I support initially by myself from my business earnings, but now I have been reaching out to donors for the last 2008, so 12, it's almost 15, 16 years. I've been relying on donor contribution, and a lot of donors are from the United States,
Sure.
others from India and some of the other countries. So the school is run on contributions from well-meaning people.
Mm-hmm. Do you work with the colleges in the United States to recruit? Because you had mentioned some of them come to some Ivy League schools here, maybe in
Yes.
Europe as well. I'm not sure, but do you work with the colleges in the recruitment process of these children?
Colleges, admissions departments are very hard to break into, and to talk to
Uh-huh.
them. But we try to provide some background information about our school and the community the children belong to and the historic story, we try to tell them. But they have their own criteria, and then, they need financial assistance too
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have any money to study there. Colleges are extremely expensive, but colleges in America, especially the Ivy Leagues and others, they are looking for a certain amount of different type of students. They want to know about poverty. So children who come from poverty is of some interest to them because they learn what poverty is all about
Mm-hmm.
or how they live and the circumstances. And so, in that sense, if our children have got very high score, they have to be 95 percentile in SAT exam and their academic score, then only these colleges consider to start with. But
Right.
then there are a lot of students from all over the world who are above 95 percentile. So it's not very easy to get admission.
Sure, it's highly
And
competitive. Sure.
there we have a little advantage because the colleges want children who are from very poor, deprived backgrounds also, so that others are sensitized about the predicament of half the world society.
Mm-hmm. Do you describe because I haven't read your book yet, do you describe in detail the operations of the schools down there
Yes,
in India?
I describe all about how the school is run,
Mm-hmm.
the values with which we operate,
Right.
uh, and then all the hurdles we have met and how we have overcome.
Very good. So a lot of the students, I'm assuming, go to college in India, as you mentioned. They
Yes,
they stay in India and they basically improve their lot on their own in India,
right. More than 90% of them go to colleges in India.
which helps India. You know, you're
Ye-
bringing more people out of poverty by through education.
Right.
It helps the nation itself, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where they study; they still will, improve their families, their communities. So either way, it works. Just that if you get into Ivy League, obviously you can have a great career.
right. Well, I don't want to prejudge because the book's only been out for what is today, the 21st, as we're recording. So the book's only been out 7, 8 days.
That's
Uh,
right.
I was
That's
going to
right.
ask you how it's been received so far, but I don't know if that's a fair question.
It's a very fair question. In the first week itself, we hit the Amazon bestseller rank.
Wow, very good.
And
Congratulations.
then it also became number one in five different categories on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Five different categories. They have, Amazon has so many different categories. We were number one on five categories. Then, day before yesterday, we heard that USA Today, we are a bestseller there too.
Well, that's tremendous. I'm very happy to hear that. I see you got some high
Thank you.
high
Thank you.
rollers given I don't know what they call these blurbs. You got Thomas Friedman, Anish Raman from LinkedIn, and you have a lot of attestations to the book here.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them, they are all well-known people. This Mr. Murthy runs one of the largest IT companies in India.
Infosys, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, very good. So, I'm not even sure you have time to have gotten any reviews in Amazon. It's way too early for that, right? Oh, you do have
We have
reviews.
some 20 reviews on Amazon.
Okay, well, I'll throw one up there after I read
You can
it.
see the stars. I'm right now running. If you go up a little bit, see total all five stars.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Congratulations. That's a good
A good start.
uh
Yeah, I'm sure it
darn good.
won't.
Well, now
I won't be able to keep up that,
you got to
but
call somebody in the book department at the New York Times, get on that bestseller list, right?
yeah, that is a little hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well,
a little hard.
yeah. Well, you're doing good on Amazon, and that's hard itself. So to get on that bestseller list is no small accomplishment either.
Right,
So
right.
obviously, I wish you the best of luck. I do appreciate you coming on. I know we had some problems in the beginning here, and I do apologize for those. But you're a very interesting man. So what do you see in the immediate future for yourself?
Well, I have dedicated my life now to improving the lives of the poor
Uh-huh.
and breaking the cycle of social discrimination.
Sure.
That's my goal, and in the process, I'm bringing up the children, small children from the age of 4. It's a great joy for me,
Yeah.
and I want to tell people whether it is bringing up children, running a school, or running a hospital, you're going to find tremendous happiness, especially in the eyes of the beneficiary. And if you're looking for a purpose in your life, you can make as much money as you want, and your purpose is to make more money, that is one thing. But if you have made enough money and you want to uh, use that for something meaningful that gives you meaning to your life or purpose to your life, I urge you to consider, something like I'm doing or something else.
Right.
Depends on how much wealth and income you have.
Absolutely. That's a refreshing thing to hear in this day and age, Doctor. So I do get again. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Tom.
obviously I wish you the best of luck with the book, and I'm sure it'll be a great success, and you'll get on the New York Times bestseller list. You wait.
I
And
wish I could.
I'm only going to buy one copy. That's not going to change any dynamics. But
Well, that improves my Amazon rating.
well, there you go. I'll leave a nice review for you when we're done.
Okay.
When I'm done with it.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
inviting me.
and Doc, if you don't mind staying on after I hit stop recording, I just want to get some information from you
Sure,
to put
sure,
in the show notes. So thank you again for being on
sure,
tonight.
sure.